Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch McConnell. I failed you. Oh my goodness. Oh, Trumpy. I'm sorry that maybe I could have. Oh, as the song go? Maybe I should have treated you just as good as I should. Little things I should have said and done. I never took the time. Trumpy, you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love has not gone away, Trump. I'm sorry that I subjected you to that, but Trump, Mitch McConnell failed Trump for the 1 millionth time. Kevin McCarthy also failed Trump. The Republicans failed Trump. And the way the Democrats work is the following. They run a very well-oiled political machine. They've done so since Tammany Hall. They walk in lockstep. Nobody deviates from the most absurd tinfoil hat theories, and they claim everyone else believes in nonsense. But Adam Schiff went from defending Clinton's use of servers with top secret and special access program intelligence on them, according to James Comey, which, according to Comey, was unintentional. Yeah, right. To seamlessly transitioning from defending server use for 4 years. I mean, computers running outside of the United States government. Literally, not running, not within the United States government as Secretary of State. Completely, what a server is, you're running your own computer hardware, servers. So, I don't need to tell you, if you know anything about technology, you probably know a lot more than I do. But that's okay. He went from defending Madam Secretary to seamless transition into Trump working with Putin. And Trump was a puppet. And of course, do you think he believes this? Do you think Democrats all believed that Trump was paid by Putin, or that he had contacts that helped him work with Russian intelligence officials to purchase Facebook ads? Do you think they believed that Facebook ads swung even one vote? My point to you, ladies and gentlemen, is Democrats, believe it or not, the politicians, they understand politics and public relations. They have a mind of their own. They know that this is a game and a charade, and if they all stick together, if they're unified, they're able to get a lot more done and accomplished. All the people who oppose Trump, the 35 Republicans, the Mitt Romneys of the world, the Jeff Sessions, who is the greatest culprit in all of this, and I told you that, hit subscribe to this channel right now, because I told you, and hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I am growing H.A. Goodman's other channel. You will have a segment right after this one. I did 4 segments on H.A. Goodman's other channel yesterday. I am growing it. Please tell your friends. Let's get to 20, 30,000, 40,000 subs on that channel. I have 180,000. We're growing. Let's get to 200,000 on this channel. But H.A. Goodman's other channel, please, the link is below in the description section. It's the best thing you could do for me if you enjoy my voice. Sessions started it all. Even more so than Romney or Paul Ryan, and they continued it. But the Republican Party would rather lose, would rather allow social media algorithms, Democrats, traditional media to fabricate and spread lies about Trump than accept the fact that his populist policies are intriguing to a great many voters, 74 million. Around the country. According to Newsweek, one Newsweek article, President Trump got the greatest percentage of non-white voters of any Republican in 60 years. That's with 95%, 92% negative media coverage. If they didn't have, think of it this way, Trump is running a 4.2, 4.3 40 with a 200-pound backpack. You like sports? You like football? You know the NFL Combine? You imagine somebody just putting on a 100-pound backpack and running a 4.2 40. He was able to accomplish even getting 74 million Americans and getting the greatest percentage of non-white voters of a Republican in decades. He was able to accomplish something profound, despite the fact that every single conceivable possible advantage went to the Democratic Party. Everything is politicized because Democrats don't run on any policies. Like, nobody really cares about the policies that Democrats pass through Congress. They don't. The transformative goals and agenda objectives, Medicare for all, Green New Deal legislation, universal basic income, all of these left-leaning policies, Democrats will never in a million years pass, nor they don't even want. These are Green Party policies. AOC and Bernie Sanders exist to just funnel votes back into the Democratic Party from left-leaning voters. Under the deception, the great the most nefarious type of deceit. One day, if you keep voting Democrat, one day, you'll get Medicare for all. That'll never happen. Democrats don't even, that's not a Democratic Party policy. And anyone in the Democratic Party that just pays lip service to it or says, oh yeah, I'm for it, they're not. Like Elizabeth Warren, really, she's not for it. They're not pushing it. Even Bernie Sanders really isn't. Like, this will come as a news, like a shock to many people. You think Bernie Sanders really is for the policies that he wants? Like, if he wanted to implement them, he would cause a lot of havoc and public relations. He would be a pain in the rear end for the Democratic Party. Are you kidding me? They would immediately, politically silence that political pain in the rear end. I mean, they were getting investigated like for nonsense years back. Democrats, if they don't like you, they investigate you. And they have the ability to do so for the past 5, 6, 7 years. And so, my long-winded point, of course, is the following. President Trump was the first president to step foot in North Korea. We had record low unemployment throughout most of his tenure, President Trump. He allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. He signed prison reform legislation. He signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, which is running rampant now. He did so many things that weren't publicized, were overlooked and ignored, and he negotiated a deal to get us out of America's longest-running military conflict in Afghanistan. And instead of the New York Times understanding why, they ran a headline today, why is the Republican Party, why can't they get rid of Trump? I mean, what's going on? I mean, haven't they had enough of the madness? It's like, no. People like his policies. He's a good president. The social media is like just public relations. If you live life based on Twitter, you're not living life. You're not really living the way you should. Social media is the worst invention. It actually takes you away from what you should be doing in terms of living life. Because that's not reality. And the theories and the nonsense, especially from the left, I'm not going to get into them, but it's not reality. Nobody walks into the supermarket and says, there's a power imbalance and oh, yeah, you're voting for this person, how dare you? Nobody cares. Everyone treats the other person generally, almost always, with respect and dignity, and they just want to get their groceries and go home. And it's It's not only utility, like it's not only beneficial for people to treat each other with respect, but they just do naturally. Generally, that happens. If you wouldn't know that if you live your life on Twitter. But anyway, McConnell and McCarthy and Republicans that are, gosh, what do we do? What do we do with Trump? It's like, we have to cater to the Cheneys of the world and Romneys. These people, they don't like Trump. What do we do? While McConnell is figuring this out and finding out what to do, Democrats are trying to consolidate as much power as they can. Thankfully, they're so inept and incompetent that they have such a slim majority in Congress now that it won't take much in 2022 for Trump Republicans to primary the you-know-what out of the Republican Party and completely revitalize an establishment failed political party. But they've abandoned him again. 35 Republicans. There's a million other ways they've abandoned. New York is trying to indict him. Do you think Romney cares? Are you kidding? Romney and Cheney and especially Sessions and all of them who want Trump out. Do you understand? This has nothing to do with the Democratic Party. I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. But this has nothing to do with the Democratic Party. This is entirely to do with people within the Republican Party who want Trump out. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. I mean, of course it has everything to do with of course it has a lot to do with the Democratic Party. But you don't. If somebody's throwing you into an ocean full of sharks, do you blame the sharks or do you blame the person throwing you into the water? The Democrats are going to do what they do naturally: investigate, twist things, utilize media, all that stuff. Intelligence operatives. Yeah. You should know that's going to happen. It's the Republicans who don't stand with Trump who are prolonging all of this. That'll change in 2022. Give me your thoughts.